everyone, I'm Nick.
I'm Vic.
And we're NB Board Gaming here with our quarterly recap and our yearly recap. It is the fourth quarter, obviously, so we're going to do the yearly at the end. So we're just going to jump right into it and talk about some factual stuff, actual numbers, and our opinions, all right?
Yeah.
So for this quarter, we have 108 plays.
Whoa.
Of those 108 plays, we have 51 that were unique games. All right, do you know what the most played game may be for this quarter?
I'm going to guess for this quarter.
Yeah.
The Gang.
The Gang is correct. It has 11 plays.
Yay.
All right, so we're going to go into some opinions here. We'll start with Vic, the best new to you game.
Alrighty, so we played a few new games. This, I think, was the year of the new game.
But we're doing a quarter, so just quarter.
Yes, exactly. So
First
not thinking
quarter.
about the year, think about the quarter. And something that we did just recently get, it was a Christmas gift for Nick from me that he helped me decide to get him. And that was Tidal Blades 2. I don't remember the rest of it.
Rising in folders?
Yeah. But just Tidal Blades 2 is sufficient. This is a good one. We like it. We get to play cooperatively instead of the regular Tidal Blades. We have that. Actually, Alyssa and I, my friend and I, are painting that still. I think we actually may have finished it, but the original Tidal Blades. But this one is great because it's a whole new spin on it. It's a combat game, dungeon crawling, and Nick and I are really enjoying the combat system on it.
Yeah, it's a really good game. Spoiler, because we haven't reviewed it. But yes, it is an enjoyable dungeon crawler for sure, cooperative. For me, it's going to be Civolution. So this was one that I was cautiously optimistic about because of how long I knew the game would be and how complex it would be. Turns out, and we already have this review, so this is not a spoiler. Check that review out. We both really, really enjoyed it. We gave both really high scores for that. Civolution, it's a Steffenfeld Civ game.
Next up is Most Improved. Nick, you want to give that one?
All right, Most Improved is actually a surprise to me. We played it over the New Year, so this would have been the last day that this would have counted since we did beginning of October and December 31st. So this is the best, Most Improved to me. This is going to be Werewords.
Okay.
Werewords has always been a middle-of-the-road type game. You know, you can play it once in a blue moon and it's okay. This one I thought was actually really fun. We played it a few times, and I thought it worked excellent. I thought it just worked great. So I'm going to give it to Werewords, which was a surprise to me.
So I wrote down a game that was played after the New Year, and I just realized that.
Oh.
So I have to, on the fly, think about something in this quarter that I think is most improved. Sorry, audience, for this.
Do you want to come back to it, or do you want to just say what's most improved
No,
anyway?
I mean, I would say if I had to pick, it was nice to revisit Lorenzo Il Magnifico. It was still a great game, and Nick and I had a lot of fun. We played it a couple of times over while it was out, so
Yeah.
I got to give it to that one. We haven't played that in a long while, and it was great to bring it back and still have just as much fun with it and see something new, even though we've had the game for a while. See some things that came out that
Okay.
I haven't done that before as a strategy,
Okay.
so I'm going to pick that.
All right, cool. Lorenzo, a great game. All right, now we're going to go to Fallen. What game has Fallen, Vic?
So for me, this was a tough one to pick because it's a negative thing. You don't really,
I had 3. I had 3. I was like, I usually had struggled with this. And I always struggled with the reverse. I had 3 that like these all 3 fell.
Okay, well, this is on the very last day of the quarter,
Okay.
and it was a game I really wanted to try again after experiencing it only in the Dice Tower Cruise a couple of years ago or a year ago, and maybe 2 now. And when we played it, I thought, this is cool because I like Clue. I think that the detective games are fun. And unfortunately, when Nick and I and Andrew and Sam and Alyssa and Tim revisited it, it's Awkward Guests. I had a hard time figuring it out. So it fell a bit for me because I had remembered it as much more fun and easier to, not easier, but more straightforward to make your guess and know where you're headed in that game. But that could be a me problem. But I don't know. Awkward Guests is my pick for Fallen.
Yeah, that could have been for me too, but I never really cared for it. I felt like the first play was kind of like, eh. And then I wanted to revisit it. Like, let me give it a second chance. And it's still, eh. But I didn't put that on my list just because of that. I did think about Rising Sun, but I want to be fair. That was a 6-player game. I don't think that's the game you should play at 6, really.
Yeah.
With the expansion, you can play at 6. So the 2 that I put on here, first is Sarkadian's First Light. I was very upset that I had the first edition, which isn't compatible with an expansion that I had, the Specialist expansion. I was very upset by that. It just seems weird that I can't play an expansion that I have with a game. So there was no real way to know that unless I really researched this expansion about the compatibility with that edition. So I was disappointed by that. The game was just okay as it was. I was trying to improve the game. So that fell off because of that. And also Glasgow. I was trying to sell that right away. It's a 2-player only game with the circle. Remember the big circle tiles? I don't know. I thought it was a okay first play, and then I thought it was actually kind of bad. Second play, I thought it was kind of boring.
Yeah.
Yes, 2-player games are often simple. This one just felt like something was missing, and it really wasn't enjoyable. So Glasgow was the other one.
I can see that. How about favorite overall?
This one, I am going to go with Paladins of the West Kingdom. It wasn't my favorite overall play because we played it 4 players. It should still be a 2 or 3-player game. It shouldn't be a 4-player game. However, it was my favorite game that we did play. Not necessarily that session, but that game.
Well, my favorite, this could have qualified as a favorite new game, but it's obvious if you check out our video and listen to some of our thoughts about it, Civolution has to be my favorite because scored it highly. I enjoyed it. It was a 2-player experience for Nick and I, and it really it hit. It hit nicely, as they say.
All right.
Yeah.
So are we going to, we can do best experience, right?
Yeah.
I didn't write this one down because I wrote it down for the year.
I can go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my best experience of the quarter was one that started on Friendsgiving. So this year we did our first Friendsgiving with our friends. We had the opportunity on that Friday after the actual Thanksgiving here in the United States to have a Friendsgiving with our good gaming pals. Andrew and Sam and Alyssa and Tim came over. And we deployed a new game that Nick had actually heard from Brian and Kim, another great gaming friendship that we have, where Brian tipped Nick off basically when we were on a little trip before Thanksgiving saying, hey, if you like poker, you're going to like this game. And so what I would say is that experience of the gang, sorry, Sam, I know it wasn't her favorite thing, but just seeing, we had an almost 9-year-old playing with us, and we were able to have success on the missions, and everything clicked nicely. You kind of have to guess people's hands and strength of hands, and I was just so impressed because when Nick was first explaining it, I go, oh boy, this is going to be really tough. It does get harder with the more players you play with, but it was still so cool to persevere, and anyone we've showed it to, for the most part, that does like poker or knows poker, seems to enjoy it too.
Yeah. That is definitely a good one. For most, we're going
best experience,
most memorable, whatever. I'm actually going to give it to when our little trip around they were talking about. We stopped off and actually went to Kim and Brian's place and played some games overnight. I just thought it was we had been staying in a lot of hotels, so it was nice that we got to stay at a friend's place, hang out. People we don't generally see outside of maybe the Dice Tower cruise over there in Ohio, and it was a great time. I enjoyed spending time with them. I always enjoy seeing them. So they get a lot of shouts on our channel, even though we don't get to play with them very much. They're gaming friends, so it was good to see them.
And we played a great game too with them.
Gold West,
yeah,
Gold West was really good.
Thought it was cool. It was a cool theme and everything. Only one experience with it.
Yeah, I didn't care for the UAP one as much, but I did like Gold West.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to the yearly, right?
Yeah.
We're ready for the year. All right, so plays. 2024. We had 474 plays for 2024. Of those unique games were 175 unique different games. So we played a lot of games. We are going to go with the most played. What do you think? Most played for the entire year.
Sea Salt and Paper.
No, we have 21 plays for Sky Team.
Oh, that was going to be another thought.
Yeah, Sky Team got a lot of plays in the middle of the year. So that was a great 2-player game. We haven't been playing much lately, but I do want to come back to it soon.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go next as positive surprise for the year, Vic. What are your positive surprise or surprises?
Well, call me biased to like the most recent quarter, but I would say again, as I just mentioned not long ago, the gang was a positive surprise because anytime you're doing a game where you have to have like intuition of players, I'm always like the mind or something, you get a little afraid that people aren't going to grasp it and it's going to get ruined. But the gang really worked out well. So I have to say that was a positive surprise because I just didn't know when you were giving the rule explanation. And then Civolution. When this game comes out and you look at it and you go, oh no, this is going to be really, this might just be an all right game. And I don't know if I'm going to really enjoy it. It seems very heavy. It might be a brain burner. But as you're going through it, you're just having a lot of fun playing it. So Civolution has to be, it's tie for me. It's those two.
And I knew right when we played that it would be like one of the most rewarding games. Like once we know what we're doing really solidly, and we just boom, boom, and do stuff, and it turned out to be true. Once we learned that game, so rewarding.
Yeah, and I think that factors into the surprise too, because when we had these booklets each, and we were going through our first play, and I thought, is this going to be the way it's going to end up with this game? But I feel like we could even revisit it and be all right.
Mm-hmm. All right. Positive surprise for me is going to be, I have 3 down here. One is because we played it so much back-to-back on our very first play, and this was back at that birthday event. We played Things and Rings 7 times. I played it 7 times.
Yeah.
So that has to make the list because I didn't expect anything of it. You know, the 3 circles, okay, whatever. Turned out to be a hit. Everyone wanted to keep playing it, so that's going on the list. Deus is a classic game, and I really enjoyed it. It was such a surprise, and I thought it might be okay. I wanted to try it because I heard some hype. You know, it's an older game. Played it and I loved it. I thought it was a fantastic game. So Deus is up there. And this one, this other one I was interested in. And then I heard it would be too light or simple for me. But when I played it, it was a surprise because it was actually really good. And this is a brand new, we just played it with Andrew and Sam, Explorers of Nevoria. I thought it was a great game. I didn't expect much from it.
Yeah.
And that is a good one. So we will now move on to the most original. I'll start this time. Most original for me for this entire year was ISS Vanguard. I mean, I'm not even sure. I pretty much whenever I saw it on my list, I didn't even scroll anymore. You have this booklet, a binder, and you're always doing things to your ship. And I mean, this is a crazy experiment for a game. I couldn't even scroll anymore. How can anything be more original, really? So ISS Vanguard had a lot going on. Great story, great experience. It could have easily been the top of the year. It's not going to be the top of the year, but it could have easily been.
Yeah, and I so agree with that one because if you think about your experience as well with new crew members, when you're playing that game, you are kind of forced to retire people or use them up for other purposes. So it's a really interesting take that when you're playing the game, I don't want to spoil anything because it isn't a certain type of game that way, but definitely an original piece. I have to give it to one of Andrew's games that he introduced us to. I really thought Fromage was pretty unique. That Lazy Susan, where you're turning and then it depends on where your cheese is facing out there. Like, that is so cool. Your people, with the way that they're looking at the cheese, but the cheese, the way the angle of the cheese is. And then that's when you could take them off. So it's kind of Zolkin-y where you're putting a piece down and you're trying to go for the long run of how long can you keep this one out? Aging. And I like cheese.
The longer you keep it out, the better it is, like in Zolkin.
Yeah, so I thought it was neat the way it turned around the table and all the different sections that did different things that you could interface with, the different buildings and how you wanted to approach the game. It seemed cool.
All right, we're going on to favorite new to you, Vic. New to you for the entire year. You want to start this one?
No, because I didn't write that one down.
Favorite new to me for the entire year actually is going to be a repeat of the quarter. Civolution was the best of the entire year. I tried to compare it to other ones, and I thought that one had to edge it out. I did consider Darwin's Journey as my second.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I hate to be lame and just say that, but obviously Civolution, high scores, already mentioned why. I love that game. You and I both were very high on it. I was higher than you, I think, even on it.
You were by 2/10.
So it would not make sense for me to pick a different game for that. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, no, you had a 9-1 for that, so I think that's probably accurate. That was probably your favorite. So what is the next one? Biggest disappointment?
Biggest disappointment.
Go ahead.
So biggest disappointment for me is a tie between two, but I'll start with the one.
Guess.
Yeah, I'll start with the one that I guess I didn't understand what game I was getting. This is Botany. It showed up. I waited for a while. I had backed it. It was an anticipated game. I thought it was cool. The theme of it, because Victorian flower hunting and botany, and the art was going to be interesting. And when it actually arrived and we were playing it, it was too simple of a game, and it didn't do anything for Nick and I, so we promptly sold that one. And I think my second one is going to be the same as you for the biggest disappointment.
Good.
But I'll say it, I don't want to take steal your shine on this, but a game that we both really anticipated, and it was in the top of our list, would be Unconscious Minds. I thought it was really disappointing because I saw your disappointment in the game, and that always hurts me because I scored it higher than Nick did. But then the fact that Nick didn't enjoy it and he was so high on it, and the art was, had so much potential, and then we got the game and it took so long to play. And if you want to hear our thoughts on that one, you can check out our video for Unconscious Minds. But unfortunately, seeing his disappointment had to make it a big disappointment for me.
Yep. So that's a crossover. Unconscious Minds was my most anticipated game, and it had been for a while. It's just a gorgeous game. I mean, I had to own it right when I saw it. And it kind of did the same trick as Endless Winter on me, from Fantasia, both from Fantasia. The look was just so amazing. I had to try it. I was super hyped. And sometimes you buy into it, like you want to like it so much that you just pretend you do. No, I'm not like that. So if I don't like a game, even as much as I want to like it, I'm like, yeah, actually, I don't like this. So I was disappointed, yes. And yes, like you said, I don't talk anymore. We have a whole review up. If you are more curious about Unconscious Mind, then check that out. And we'll tell you our honest thoughts in that review. All right.
Did you want to do favorite art at all?
Yeah. Favorite art, sure. That is Unconscious Mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had Unconscious Mind, but I also had Wishland because I thought Wishland had some neat stuff. I made a comment when we were unboxing it, and I said, "Oh, this guy's so cute. Oh, look at that." So it has to be for me. I really liked the way the art was.
Yeah.
So
I know it's a subjective thing, art.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it feels like objectively those two aren't close. To me, it feels like
they're not, because of course, Unconscious Mind had a whole book that came with it of the art and the caliber of illustrators. He's mad now.
Like I said, it's the topic is not, it's your opinion.
Yeah, it's my opinion.
But Unconscious Mind had Vincent Dutrait and Andrew Bosley, and it's just phenomenal. It's like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, holographic and stuff.
Insane.
Transparent.
Insane.
Yeah.
All right, so where are we at? Are we in the last one?
I think we're on memorable moment. Yeah,
that's the last one, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all you have. Okay, making sure. You want to start it?
Yeah. So memorable moment. I'll say right off the bat. First off. Halfway through the year, Nick and I found out that we are expecting our first child together. So obviously that's been a big highlight of 2024. It was a big deal when we found out in August. It was actually Nick's 40th birthday that a little gaming retreat we did with friends. We found out secretly, didn't tell anyone until a little while. But yeah, I mean, what more can I say about that? We're due in April, at the end of April, and we're expecting a baby boy. So excited to add another player to the family. So that's got to be it. But on a gaming note, I would say that gaming retreat that I mentioned for Nick's 40th birthday, where we played games like Blood on the Clock Tower and other 6-player plus party games, it was awesome. Like to be able to play 6-player games with a lot of people. 8-player games, I should say, because we had to play some party games as a pregnancy break.
Yeah, we split up on a couple of occasions, but mostly 8-player games.
Yeah,
we tried
to play that and get to try some new party games and have everyone there for a weekend. It was so cool. So I talked about that during that quarter, and so it does remain the most memorable for me.
And that's what I had on my list. So Vic and basically, one of the memorable moments would be showing me the early pregnancy where there was a faint line. And you're holding your breath. Like, it might be, but I don't want to say it. So I'll just say, let's hold off, wait till it becomes a little darker. And it did. And we pretty much found out the day before. Like we were pretty sure, and then it was almost 100% sure the day of. We were like, that's
First day we got there, so
yeah,
we were
so we knew, and we were hanging out with everybody, but we couldn't say anything. It's way too early to say anything. You want to make sure things go right. So now we're about to be, in a couple weeks here in the third trimester. So
Yeah.
Vic is, nervous, and we're optimistic.
building a baby.
Yep. And as far as gaming, it would be the same. That whole weekend was excellent. It was just 8 of these close friends, and if you've ever listened, we don't get a lot of views on these type of videos, but if you've watched things in the past, we always reference these same friends: Alyssa and Tim, Andrew and Sam, Kim and Brian. We had all of them. So Kim and Brian came all the way from northwestern Ohio
Yeah.
to do this, and we did it in like almost southern Illinois. It was not southern Illinois, but
Yeah.
southeast, basically,
Yeah.
like kind of middle state south. And they took their RV and they ended up going to the Indiana Dunes on the way up and going home.
And we got to do a park with them too.
Yeah, we did Turkey Run, and
yeah.
it was that park is awesome. I would go back to that anytime. I
Yeah.
love that park. That park didn't feel like I was in Indiana anymore. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you hear all those names if you watch any of those videos. These are people we love dearly. So it was awesome to have all of them around and just share great memories with them and have a great time. Pretty stress free.
Yeah.
So.
I would say so. Thank you so much for watching and learning about our final quarter of 2024, our memorable moments of 2024 from a whole year standpoint, and following us throughout the year. We really appreciate every subscriber, every video like, every watch, and any comments that we get. We love to get comments on this. If you let us know in the comments below about the games that you've tried and the games that you may have had fall out of favor, or any of the topics that we covered in categories. We'll also point you to Andrew and Sam have a final quarter video, as well as an annual review, and it'll be coming up after ours.
Yep, probably a couple days. Usually a couple days after ours.
So do stay tuned for that, and thank you so much again for watching. Bye.
Bye-bye.